Hi, welcome to the podcast. I'm Joycelyn, your player one, and today on Indie House we've got our special 1 year Q&A episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi, that's my face. Get used to it, I guess. I might do more of these in the future. I'm just gonna get right into it. I actually recorded this entire thing, and then on the last question, my computer crashed. So I'm gonna do it all right now, and we're gonna go quick, okay? Because I was talking for too long, and I also kept looking at myself in OBS, and I'm not gonna do that. But if I do look down, it's because I'm looking at my questions, not because I'm looking at my face. I promise. So, first question is, what was your favorite episode to record and why? My favorite episode to record was any episode with a collaborator. All of the episodes with Nicole, all of the episodes with all of my other friends, those episodes were my favorite to record because I got to record with someone else. But out of those episodes, my favorites were probably Danger Crew with David and I Love You, or Colonel Sanders, the KFC dating sim game with Johanna. Those were my two favorites because they were just so much fun, and they were like recorded back to back. I think I recorded Johanna and then David the next week or something. Like, the way that they came out was how they were recorded, basically. And it was really fun. I had a really fun 2 weeks. But yeah, those episodes were, like, my favorites. The next question is, what were your favorite games you played for the podcast? My favorite games for the podcast that I played, someone asked before the podcast started what games Nicole and I were looking forward to, and I said Baba Is You. And now Baba Is You is probably my favorite, like one of my favorite games to play right now. I play Baba Is You sometimes, occasionally. Whenever I'm bored and I want to do a little puzzle, I play Baba Is You. I also really loved Unpacking. Unpacking was really fun. And other games that I played for the podcast, I had already played Minecraft. Minecraft is one of my favorite games. Obviously, I love Minecraft, but I didn't really play it for the podcast. I just kind of played it for fun when we did our April Fool's episode. And what other games? Unpacking, Baba Is You. I know Nicole was really looking forward to Dial Town, but Dial Town didn't happen because I wanted to play Dream Daddy, which was really fun. Dream Daddy was fun. Yeah, like a lot of the games that I played towards February were like peak my fun levels of podcasts, because those games were the games that I was looking forward to like the entire time, because we had the entire podcast planned out basically within like the first week of starting it. So some of the games obviously I changed around because I had to, but those were my favorite games, definitely. What are your favorite non-indie games? Okay, so I already talked about Minecraft. Minecraft is an indie game, okay? It is an indie game because it started out as an indie game and then it got bought by Microsoft. But it was an indie game when it was created, so it is an indie game. Obviously that counts as an indie game. Minecraft is one of my favorite games of all time. It is my favorite game of all time. Just because it's been with me my entire life. You know, I could never imagine not playing Minecraft. So, that's that. But if I have to talk about non-indie games, it would be The Sims. Like, there's just no way that I could say any other game. I play The Sims. I have like 500 hours on The Sims. Over 500, like 600 hours. But my Sims game keeps crashing. And I just need a better computer. But I play The Sims a lot, and I'm really passionate about it, and I know all of the lore, but I only play The Sims 4, which is a downer, obviously, because The Sims 3 and The Sims 2 are way better. Even The Sims 1. But, you know, I enjoy The Sims 4 because that's the game that I have, and it's fun, and it's not that bad. But, yeah, that is my favorite non-indie game, The Sims 4. I have like almost all of the expansions. I'm really close. I think I need 2 more. But they just announced... Okay, I'm back. Sorry. They announced a new pack for The Sims 4, I think. Today, or like yesterday. Like the horse thing or whatever. Or they're like leaking it, but they're announcing it. Like they're like soft launching this pack. I hate that. I hate when they do that so much. It makes me so mad. But The Sims, my favorite game, I tolerate it. Angry Sims player. The next question is, how do you make the podcast episodes? So all of the episodes are recorded through Discord because that was the original way we started the podcast, and I just was lazy and I didn't want to change anything. And it also helps for when I do collaboration episodes, because I already record on Discord. I can just have a call with someone and record that way still. I record the episode on Discord, download it, drag it into GarageBand because I edit my audio in GarageBand. I also made the background music for the podcast in GarageBand. I think Nicole made the theme music in BandLab. But yeah, I edit in GarageBand, cut out a clip, put it at the beginning of the episode, download the clip separately, and then I just make the videos and post them on YouTube, on Spotify, on Patreon, and then I post the like promo stuff on Twitter and Instagram and schedule it. And pretty much the only thing I do day of is post the Instagram stories, because for some reason those can't be scheduled ahead of time. But yeah, I mean, the podcast is pretty simple to do. Like the hardest part is scheduling everything, especially when I am working with other people. But yeah, like obviously sometimes I have to sit down and make thumbnails. I have to sit down and like find games to play, because sometimes I had to change the game that I was gonna play. Or there were a few games that we had to scrap because they just weren't like entertaining enough to make an episode about. Like we wouldn't have had a full episode for a few games. But like the podcast itself is pretty simple to run. And the next question is, how much have you spent on the podcast games? So I don't know how accurate this is because Steam doesn't separate your purchases by the game in like bank statements and stuff. I don't know if there's a way for me to check that. I also don't know if there's a way for me to see on Steam how much I spent, because I bought most of my games on Steam at a discounted price of some sort. It was usually like 10, 20, 30%. Some of them were maybe 50%. I think maybe once I bought something for 60% off or something. But I would wait until there was a discount on a game that I would wishlist the game and follow it so that I knew that there was a discount. And then I would buy it whenever it told me there was a discount. So there's some games that I wanted to play that are on my wish list that I just wasn't able to play because there was no discount for it, so I just didn't play it. Like Terraria is still on my wish list. Terraria's been on my wish list for like years, and I just never have had the chance. But it is what it is. So total, I spent $82.98 on all of the games. That was $168 on Steam and $14.98 on Itch.io. And that's not including Minecraft because I already had it, and it's also not including any Robux that I had because I already had Robux before I recorded, and I also didn't use any Robux while I was recording because I didn't play any Roblox games that needed Robux. I could have played Welcome to Bloxburg, which I bought. That's like the only thing I've ever bought with my Robux. But I bought Welcome to Bloxburg, and then I think it's free now. So, whatever. But, yeah, so I didn't use any Robux, and I also didn't include Minecraft in that because I already owned Minecraft, and I was gonna own Minecraft no matter what. But yeah. And the next question is, will there ever be an episode on Pizza Tower or something in the horror genre? So, Pizza Tower, I looked it up, is like a platformer game. I don't know. Pizza Tower looks new. I don't know if there will ever be an episode on that. If there's ever a form submitted through our card to request that episode, maybe. But I don't know. And anything in the horror genre, probably not. Cause I am a scaredy cat and I don't like horror. So I don't play horror games. We actually had to make a rule, after I need to pee, that we just weren't gonna play horror games because it was so bad for me. I talked about it in that episode. I had to play that game in the living room with my parents. I had my brother play the game and I watched it on the TV. And I couldn't even watch most of it, actually. I just sat in the room and I was scared. So probably not any horror games. Even though I Need to Pee wasn't even that scary, I just couldn't do it. I can't play horror games, especially if I know that they're horror games. Yeah. So here's the last question. What are your future plans for the podcast? So, the podcast, as you guys know it, is coming to an end. So I won't be continuing the weekly uploads. I won't be continuing anything like that. I think that, and I've thought this for a while, I think that the podcast would be better quality and more fun for me and like collaborators and stuff like that if it wasn't a weekly thing and if it was more natural. I plan on taking more requests for games and just playing games that I want to play. Like if I find a cool indie game, maybe I'll make an episode on it. But I don't plan on posting as often or recording as much because it was a lot of work. Like adding up, it was a lot of work and it's obviously a lot of money. I spent almost $200 on the podcast. Yeah, so I feel like this is like a monumental moment. This is the end of the podcast as we know it. Maybe there will be an episode on Pizza Tower in the future. Maybe there won't be. I don't know. But if you have any requests for games, you can find the link to the request form in the card that's linked in the description of this video or the description anywhere on any of our social medias. The card, it will be there. And you can request a game, and that will be how you get my attention on games and how I will make my episodes, because I want to do what the audience wants, and I also don't want to just be making episodes to make up an episode for a week. So yeah, maybe at some point I'll play some other games. I know, actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but Nicole is making a game currently, and she's already asked me to play it for the podcast, and I already said I will, so there's definitely going to be an episode on Nicole's game. It's not just Nicole, it's like it's a project that she's doing for college. She's a part of a team, they're making a game. So, like, there's already other episodes. The podcast isn't ending, per se, it's just, you know, it's gonna change directions a little bit, change flow. There's also a link in the card to become a guest host on the podcast. Obviously, that's more so for people that know me, but if you want to be a guest host on the podcast, why not just submit a form, put your name out there, put a game out there for us to play, and I'll see about it. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Indie House. I'm so excited for where this podcast is gonna go in the future. Be sure to rate the episode and let me know your thoughts. I've got a Discord server called Indie House Official, which would be a great place to give your feedback and talk to me, my collaborators, or other listeners of the show. And if you have indie game suggestions, feel free to comment below or hit me up at indiehouse_pod on Twitter or Instagram using the hashtag IndieHouseGaming. If you would like to support the podcast and get some cool extra content, you can do that in the Patreon, in the card. And catch us whenever the podcast returns on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. See y'all on the next level. Bye!